Inheritance or insanity? $60,000 windfall, drowning in debt, and no home. Am I doomed? Am I doomed? Alrighty, let's see. What do we got today? All right. I never thought I'd be standing here on the edge of what feels like a financial cliff, clutching a $60,000 inheritance and somehow feeling more lost than ever. This should have been a lifeline, a fresh start, but instead it feels like a cruel joke. The universe laughing in my face while my debts grow like a storm ready to swallow me whole. I live in my late grandmother's house. Not mine, hers. Sharing the space with my brother, but that's where the sharing ends. I carry most of the weight in regards to the bills, leaving me with just enough to get by and not enough to breathe. It's paycheck to paycheck for me, purely survival mode. And now, with the money in hand, all I see is a million doors closing around me.
So he got $60,000. He
Yes.
gets to live in his late grandmother's house, and everything's shutting on him. Am I hearing that right?
You're hearing that right, yeah. You're hearing that
Am
right.
I going to be frustrated during
You're
this
gonna
letter?
be frustrated. Yeah, you may want to just mute and come back in about 6 minutes.
All right, I'll come back in 5 minutes.
Just come back, yeah. Let me break it down. Let me break down the disaster zone that is my financial life. Alrighty. Student loans. Can you guess? $25,000. As far as student loans go, that's high, but I've heard much higher. Still high. They say $25,000, a boulder tied around my neck, less since graduation. That's dark. That's dark. We might have to have some, maybe I'll start editing some music into this. I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah. Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun. Yeah, exactly. We need to set up those little sound effects. We might have to do that live.
Yeah, we've talked about it. We'll do that next time.
Yeah. Credit card debt. So we got some student loan, $25,000, and we got some credit card debt. $22,000 credit card debt. Interest rates feel like they're a ticking time bomb, and the explosion gets closer and closer every month. And for our third and final debt of the week, car loan. $6,000, not massive, but still one more chain shackled to me, they say. That is very unfortunate.
So about $53,000. How much is that? Yeah, 50.
Yeah. Somewhere in there.
Yeah.
Somewhere north of 50K.
Like that.
Yeah. So 50K, that's a lot. I don't know if they say their age in this one, but 50K anywhere, that's a lot. That's a good amount. So continuing on, stay with me. I got a few paragraphs here. It's time to get deep. Grab your popcorn, boys. So I thought about paying off my car loan just to get a small victory, one less battle to fight, but it's not enough. It's never enough. And and then there's the credit card debt. It feels like it's strangling me. Oh no. Every time I think about pulling ahead, the interest drags me back down like an anchor. I've adjusted my payments to give me a little bit of breathing room, but I've just been delaying the inevitable. It's like putting a Band-Aid on a bullet wound. Intense. Here's the real torture. Okay then, here's the real torture. I need a home. I want a home. And in the city I live in, home prices are climbing faster than I can ever dream of saving. Every day I watch the possibility of owning a home slip further and further away, like sands slipping through my fingers. My heart tells me to stash away the $50,000 of inheritance, clinging to it like a lifeboat, and use it for a down payment. But the moment I start thinking that way, my mind screams at me, what about the debt? How can I even think about buying a home when I'm buried under $50,000 worth of loans and credit card bills that threaten to bury me alive? I feel like I'm trapped in a vicious cycle. Pay off the debt, and I can finally start to breathe. But I'm left with next to nothing. No savings, no hope for a home in this city where housing prices are a monster lurking in the shadows, ready to devour anybody too slow to act. But if I don't pay off the debt, it'll be like dragging a ball and chain into my future home, making every mortgage payment feel like another punch in the gut. Okay. I can't escape the nagging feeling. Oh, and you're going to hate this one. All right. You're going to hate this one. All right. So I can't escape the nagging feeling that this $60,000 from my dead grandmother isn't a blessing. It's a curse. A
What
bitter
an
reminder,
asshole.
dude, a bitter reminder that life is never as simple as it should be. I should be excited, right? I should feel like I've been given a second chance. I don't know. But instead, I feel like I'm standing in quicksand, and no matter which way I move, I'm sinking deeper and deeper. My stomach twists in knots every time I think about it. Do I dare gamble on a home, hoping that the debt won't drown me? Or do I play it safe and clear the debts and give up my dream of ever owning a home? I find myself fantasizing, really, about what it would be like to inherit more money. Enough to wipe out my debt and get a home. But no, that's not my reality. Instead, I'm standing at a crossroads, terrified to make the wrong move, terrified that no matter what I choose, I'll lose everything. I need help in more ways than one. I need someone to tell me I'm not doomed. Mindset's kind of cooked. Someone to tell me that there's a way out of this nightmare and that I haven't been set up to fail before I've even started. From with a 60K inheritance in hand, do I pay off debts or do I buy some land? How about that? Let the cursing begin. Wowzers. That is a
This
send it. Say it.
this poor guy. He is just he's really living it, man. I mean, what a victim. Like what a just
Yeah.
life is just all against him, right? Like grandma only left you $60,000 and a house to live in with your brother.
Mm-hmm. We need
that's a
start a
struggle.
GoFundMe or something. We need to save him.
Yeah, I mean, I'm surprised he didn't send us a link.
Genuinely. That is the most entitled letter I think we've ever gotten in about 60 episodes. Yeah, that's
yeah.
pretty bad.
We've had a few that I've lost my shit on. I found myself not even getting mad in this one. I just felt myself I found myself laughing more than anything because of how ridiculous it is. But it also makes me really sad because what a hell it must be to be in this person's head.
Yeah, that's a crazy way to walk through life. I mean, I'm sure they're getting pissed at everything. Everything's against you. Traffic lights, people in cars, the tax man, your boss, your coworkers, the people you work with. Everything's against you.
Yeah, I was recently at our local grocery store and I saw a woman just lose her freaking mind at the checkout counter over I don't know what it was, but just losing her mind.
What it was?
It doesn't even matter. She was losing her mind, and I'm sitting there and obviously you want to say something, but I'm a big brown dude. I'm not gonna walk up to some Karen looking white lady and tell her to calm down. That's just not gonna go well for me.
And they just can't
she's freaking out. Yeah. So she's just freaking out, and I'm sitting there, and I'm like, you know what? I feel bad for the person getting yelled at, but you know who else I feel bad for? I feel bad for that lady who's freaking out because what hell must it be like? Because she doesn't want to be that person. It's kind of like you're dealing with a 2-year-old, and a 2-year-old who are just enveloped in their emotions, and what do little kids need? They need structure, they need order, they need to be told what you're doing is not okay. And that's almost what I hear inside of this letter is there's somebody who their life objectively compared to majority of the other things we've gotten here in these 5 Friday feedbacks is looking really on the upside, but they are choosing, maybe not consciously, but unconsciously choosing to only focus on the negative. Just like that woman screaming at somebody in the checkout aisle, I feel empathy for them to be it must be really hard to be you. It must be so hard to live in that hell all the time. Be that person that freaks out, that gets $60,000 and goes, damn it, grandma, only 60.
No appreciation for the gift. That was life, energy, time, translated to money from a woman who let you stay at her home, who cared for you. Zero appreciation. Zero. Disgusting. If I'm the grandma and I got resurrected, I came back, I'd be like, I'm taking that 60 G's. Dude, it's gone. Good luck. Good luck.
Yeah, and I'm donating the house.
Exactly. Even better. Even better. What a brat.
I wonder. So, like, yeah, he's saying like, oh, it's not even my house; it's my grandma's house. So I'm assuming that the house is either like in a trust or it's currently like going down to like one of his parents, like to one of the kids of the grandma. But regardless, like, I don't know if he's paying anything on the mortgage or anything like that. But if it was grandma's house, I'm assuming not, because
Yeah.
most
Most
grandmas
grandmas.
aren't
You gotta
paying a
pay it
mortgage
off.
on the house.
Yeah.
So he gets to live for free.
Yep.
Yeah, it sucks that your brother isn't pulling his weight. But that's a conversation to be had,
Yeah.
not something to just avoid and complain about.
Mhm.
But like, yeah, you're $50,000 in debt. 25 of it is the credit is student loans. And yeah, that's kind of part of life. You take out student loans, and ideally you get a better job than you would have been able to qualify for without taking out the student loans, and you pay those off. The $22,000 in credit card debt, and I don't know how long you've been living at grandma's, but that is only on you. The $6,000 in additional car payment, not that big, that is only on you. You have enough money right now. You just got $60,000. You just got a full reset to reset your life and to learn from your mistakes. But unfortunately, and I really hope that you hear me, if you just take this money, you pay off this debt, you are not going to learn jack shit. You're going to put yourself inside the same situation. And I've seen this from clients who go over and over and over again to the same thing because they've never had to put in the hard work. Because if I put myself into $60,000 of debt, it's okay. Grandpa will die, lady. Mom or dad will die. Someone will bail me out. And I fear that it doesn't matter what happens. I really don't care what you choose to do with this money. First off, you can't afford a house. You have $60,000 in debt, and half of that almost is high payment. Even if you did afford the house, I could guarantee you'd probably be evicted in a few years.
Yeah. You're not mentally ready for a house. You're not financially ready for a house. You're not financially mature enough to take on the responsibility of a house. It's not just a mortgage payment. It's very expensive owning a house. Everybody knows this, right? I wish it was just a mortgage payment. I wish it was just that, however much it is in your area. But to think that it's between getting a house and paying off your debts, that's lunacy. That 50,000 is going to get eaten up immediately. And for what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 more walls? What? What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Like, it makes no sense. Pay off the debt. But at the same time, you're not learning anything from this. I'm not even sure. I mean, you sound scared, but that's fear and not knowledge.
Yeah.
I don't know how to help.
So if this was a client of mine, that's what I'm going to act as. This is someone I'm like trying to help out. When it comes to the student loans and it comes to the car and it comes to the credit cards, obviously you didn't tell me what the interest rates are. I don't even know if you know what the interest rates are. I don't know if you know what interest rates really mean. But in general, student loans, car loans, 7 to 9% interest. So high, but not like hair on fire type of high.
Mm-hmm.
Credit card interest, 15, 20, 30%. That's hair on fire type of high interest. That means anytime you don't make those payments, every 3 years or so, that payment is doubling. So your debt goes from 100 to 200 to 400 to 800 to 1600 and just continues on that way, just based off the interest rate. And we back that up by dividing the interest rate into 72. So if I was him, I would prioritize paying off the credit card debt. You just got a $60,000 windfall from your grandma, and sorry she didn't leave you more. I know. How dare she? She should have known that you needed more than just 60 and left it to somebody else.
She should have mortgaged the house, clearly.
She should have mortgaged the house and given that to you. But what I would do is I would take out 22,000 of that and I would get rid of the credit card debt immediately. From there, you can work on the student loans, you can work on the car payment and make those monthly depending on what kind of job you have. I don't even know if you're working right now.
True.
Like, I have no idea. But my assumption is probably you're not. You're probably living in your grandma's old home. Woe is me in this. Mm-hmm. But so say you take off that money, that still gives you like $35,000 or so to have your emergency fund, to go out into the world to start trying to do this stuff. You can't afford a house. $35,000 is not enough money to buy a house in any way, shape, or form. Yeah, maybe it'll qualify you to get into the house. I don't know what kind of income you're bringing in. How are you going to qualify for all this? And even if you did get into a house, you don't seem to have the emotional maturity, the mental maturity, or the financial maturity to maintain a home.
100%.
And what about your poor brother? You're going to leave him there alone? I wonder if his brother got $60,000 too.
Imagine. Next week, right into us. I invested $60,000 in a S&P fund and everything is going great. Yeah, that is tough.
Yeah, I mean, when it comes down to it, man, like you were so freaking blessed right now.
Mm-hmm.
And the story that you're telling yourself is just such a shitty story. You've put inside here something about like, I should have received more, or I should feel like I'm given a second chance, but instead I feel like I'm standing in quicksand, and no matter which move, I sink deeper. My stomach twists with every turn. Do I gamble it on a home, or do I continue to drown in debt? That word right there, should. I should have more money. I should be better. I should be doing this. You're telling yourself a story. And rather than telling yourself the story of how blessed you are that you get to live in your grandma's old home, that you got $60,000, you're telling yourself the story that I should have had a bigger home and $120,000. But no matter what you would have left, I guarantee you the story would have changed. Because what could have happened is grandma could have died and you could have gotten kicked out of her house. And then due to you getting kicked out of her house, you got no inheritance because maybe grandma had a bunch of bills or something that she had to pay. Yes, history unfolded that you got the house. They live inside the house at least, and $60,000. But history very easily could have unfolded that you had nothing. Mm-hmm. And then at that point, you're trying to live on your own. So you're paying a mortgage and you have over $50,000 in debt and no additional money. So if I was you, I'd be thanking grandma, praying to her every single night, saying, thank you so much, and handle your shit.
Yeah, this is not even a financial issue. It's an adult issue. It's a responsibility issue. It's an accountability issue. And it's just, unfortunately, not something that you can really teach.
Yeah, this is going to come with maturity. This is going to come with time. I'm sure our listener, I don't know what he thought I was going to say. I know I'm pretty kind on these things, but I think we probably just lost a subscriber and that's okay. But I really hope that like you hear what I'm saying and like, I want you to grow. I want you to be better. That's why it's so frustrating to me to hear that like, yeah, I'm living in grandma's house and I only got $60,000 and like, woe is me. Everything is so hard against me. You have made conscious decisions every single step of the way to put you where you are right now. And in front of you right now, you have infinite number of doors that you can go through. And you are choosing to walk through the wrong door. No, not even doors. They're paths. You can see the path ahead of you, but you're choosing to walk down the bad path every single time. You have infinite lives that are ahead of you right now. The fucked up part about life is you only get to choose one, but you get to consciously choose it. And you are choosing to stay on the worst path that you possibly can. So please divert your path. Start trying to get better, a little bit better every single day. You can hate me. You can blame me, just like you blame grandma for not leaving you more money. Please, if you hear one thing, get your head right. You need to start being an adult. You are a boy cosplaying as a man. Yeah. It's unacceptable.
So true. It's so true.
There it is.
There it is. That is our summary of your mailbag. Best of luck.
Do you have anything else to say to our great friend?
I don't have the energy to say it. I just don't have the energy to say it, honestly. What am I gonna say? What can I say? You know, what can I even say to that? There's nothing I can say. There's nothing that I can say that would even matter. So, best of luck. Lean on your brother for help more. I hope you two create a better relationship with each other. Remember, it's not you versus him. You're a team. Act like it. You know, it should be a dual income home with no mortgage over it. You guys split the bills and you guys maybe pool your money for something. I don't know. I don't know. Go to the gym. Jiu-jitsu. Eat healthy. I don't know. I don't know. Read a Jocko book. That's what I have. I mean, this is to say that this is like the mindset where it's at. And I'm not trying to be mean or disrespectful, but I'm going to say it how I see it if a person's starting from zero and they're just a baby, like a baby's mindset, right? It's just blank. And on one side, you have Chris, right? And on the other side, you have this guy, this person. Chris is on the right side. This guy is on the wrong side. You're not even starting from zero here. You're so far in the red that we have to rewrite your way of life, your way of thinking. You have to completely change your victim mentality. And you're going to have to learn how to take extreme ownership. You should probably pick up the book Extreme Ownership by Jocko Willink. Honestly, that is, if you're going to spend any of this money right now, $7 of that should probably go to that or to a library card. I mean, how can you work on a broken foundation? I don't think you can. I think you do need to address the financial side of it immediately. But my biggest fear is they pay off the debt, which is crazy.
Right back into it.
Right. You're going to be right. And I'm not trying to be disrespectful or rude, but you're not new. You're not unique. This happens every day. Of course, you're going to go back into it. You haven't fixed the habit. Obviously, your relationship with money and how you react with the world is a very flawed and inefficient way to conduct yourself in today's society. And genuinely, I think you got to read Extreme Ownership, burn through that book, and then reread it. And then Dichotomy of Leadership. And you have to get some perspective in your life. So probably the David Goggins book. That's a good one for perspective. Rich Dad, Poor Dad. That might even help a little bit.
You know what I would do if I was this kid? Mm-hmm. Like if I was this kid's parents, I'd drop them off in the fucking hood and just be like, survive.
Yeah. Yeah.
And like you get to see some like real shit. Like this is the reason that I love traveling so much and like going off the beaten path is you get to like, yeah, America, objectively, there are some things wrong with it. Yeah. 100%. And I love the country that I live in. But when you get to go to other countries,
dude,
every time I come back, there's never been a time where I'm like, oh God, I'm back in America. With the exception of Japan. When I came back from Japan, I was like, Japan was cooler.
Yeah.
Japan was really cool.
That's fair. One exception.
Yeah, but like, but like I'm always so happy to come back. Mm-hmm. There's never really been a place where I'm like, I would choose this place over being in America.
Yeah.
Because yes, things are not perfect, but it's so much better than other places. And other places are super cool. And whatever you enjoy is up to you. But if you're sitting there thinking that like I have the worst life in the world, you just don't. I listened to a podcast earlier about a guy who spent 20 years in prison. You know, he did dumb stuff as a kid, grew up in the hood, you know, gangbang and just kind of thinking like, this is the way, this is what we do. And he got popped for it, 20 years in prison. And while he was in there, he looked at it as an opportunity. He looked at it as 20 years of his ability to learn. And all he did was he read as much as he could. He was in the library in prison every single day learning. And now he's come out of prison and he fixed his mindset in prison to no longer be a victim anymore. Because it doesn't matter. Yeah, he was a young black man. And of course, everyone was against him. But he decided that no matter what all those people do, I'm still going to be better than you. There's an old Kobe Bryant quote that I like. It's that boos don't block dunks. So there is a time that Kobe Bryant, one of the best ball players in history, scored 80 points in a game. And the opponent team spent millions of dollars on 8 other players to stop him from doing that. And he was so freaking good that they couldn't stop that. Boos don't block dunks. You can get so good in this world by working hard every single day that no matter what other people try to do to stop you, they can't.
That's awesome. We're going to end on that one. Doesn't get better than that. Best of luck. Genuinely. I know we gave a lot of harsh insights, but we genuinely want the best for you. We don't care about you.
That's why I'm frustrated.
To hate you, right? To hate your decisions. We don't hate really anything. So we just want to see you succeed. We have no dog in your fight. We just want to see you succeed. And I hope you listen and hope you take some action. Most importantly, I hope you take some action and start rewriting yourself because you can do it. You can do it. That's all I'm going to say. With that being said, best of luck.
This video podcast is sponsored by Monzon Wealth. The content in this podcast is for informational purposes only and should not be considered financial advice. We do not endorse specific products or services. Past performance does not guarantee future results. The opinions expressed are those of the hosts and guests, not the podcast sponsor.
It is crucial to consult with a qualified financial advisor or professional who can provide advice tailored to your specific needs before making any financial decisions, investments, or taking any other actions. If you are seeking specified help, you can reach out to Chris at monzonwealth.com.